Alright, this is going to be the video of how lab 1 was set up successfully, so we'll just go through. Okay, so first I'll show how I set up the circuit here. So basically the resistor, which we solved for here, connected to ground into here, and then all the different pins connected to their respective pins, and this is how I set them up. So pin 13 through 7 on my Arduino board here is what I used. So pin 13 would be pin A. Pin A would be right here, so it would be this blue one right there. So that's where pin A would be. Pin B, 12. So here's pin B, the corner, so the red one. B12 right there, perfect. And so on and so forth here. So 3, 8 are gonna be ground, and I actually ended up using 3 as my ground here. Okay, so if we get into the code, and we'll run this one first. So compile. What's going on? Sketch. Perfect. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Back to 0. Perfect. So what I did here is, number one, I defined the slow integer because I'm going to be using this to delay half a second. So 500 milliseconds, half a second. And then in my setup loop here, I turned on all the ports in my Arduino. All the ports are on. This just makes it easier for me. I'll just turn off the ones that I don't need. So for instance, for port B0 here, I turned on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And the 6 that I'm gonna turn on, as you guys can see here, is gonna be A, B, C, D, E, F. So on here, it's gonna be A, B, C, D, E, F. So I'll turn all of them on except for G, which is gonna be pin 7. So that's why there's nothing here on port D turned on, because as you can see here, number 7 is the only one on port D. So all the other on port B, sorry. So all the other ones are on port D. So then we go on to number 1 here. I only need 2 of them on, and that's gonna be, so if we look here or here, it'll be BC. So for me, that'll be pin 12 and pin 11. So if you go here, so the first 2 zeros, disregard those. So the first one's a 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. So I need 12 and 11 turned on for the number 1. So on and so forth. So number 2, same thing here. I'll need an A, a G, a B, an E, and a D. So those are the 4 right there on. Number 3. So, and this one I actually had to use port D because we had to use the G up here for number 3 to turn on this guy right here. So yeah, so this one basically just the port manipulation, pretty simple. And after all of them, I have the delay, and then in the parentheses, slow this the integer that I defined earlier. So yeah, so port 9, so this one, or actually this one, 8, sorry. So this one, you have to have all of them turned on. So 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8 on, and 7 is on as well. So all of them are on for number 8. And yeah, so that's pretty much that one right there. That one was pretty simple. This one was simple as well. So if we look at this one's using the digital right. So so it's the same circuit. So it'll be the same circuit for both. So if we just go ahead and compile this sketch onto here, boom, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, perfect. So what I did here is, like I told you guys here, so I have my pins A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and I defined them here as well. So as you guys see on the screen, G7, it's the same as the ones before, and it's 7 here, right here, this guy, 7 for G, this guy. So I do the same thing here. I also set up another integer slow for the half-second delay, and then I have all of these pins be outputs, because essentially that's what we're doing. We're going to output the data onto these pins, so I want all of them to be outputs. And then for the loop, basically, digital write is much simpler than the port manipulation. So for this one, I just, whichever pin I'm turning on, all of the pins are going to be digital write, but whatever one I'm turning on, it'll be a 1. The one that'll stay off is a 0, so delay slow here. So just in the previous code, the number 0, for instance, there will only be one that doesn't turn on. That'll be this middle guy here, which is corresponding to this pin right here. And yeah, so number 1 here, only 2 of them on, the rest of them off. Number 2 should be 4 on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on, sorry, 5 on, 2 off. Number 3, 5 on, 2 off. And yeah, so it's basically the same process as this one here, except whereas this one we're manipulating the port to have the port turn on the pin. For this one, we're actually just doing it from the code itself here, where we're manually selecting 1 to turn on each pin or 0 to keep it off. And yeah, so that right there, that's the end of the code here. So it'll just repeat the loop, go back to 0 as we're seeing here, 9, 0. Perfect, thank you very much.